I have a buddy, a good buddy of mine. His name's Marcus Long, and he, we tried it for a little bit. I have not been good at keeping this up, but he did a podcast and a blog about it, where he teaches his kids essentially about passive income, and he uses home appliances as comparing it to like a rental property. And so he basically gave the opportunity to his kids to buy an appliance. So it could be a microwave or a blender or a dishwasher or something like that. And he offered kind of a low price of like $20 or something like that. And so they own the microwave, and every time the parents use the microwave, they have to rent it. And they have a tracker on the microwave. And so every time that they use the microwave, they have to pay, a penny to use, rent the microwave. And so they keep track of it all month long, and then they tally it up at the end. And then, they add in insurance and taxes and maintenance and all these things that you would add into, an expense and a cost. And so they basically, their microwave that they bought for $20 now becomes an income generator for them. And he talks about, all this stuff. And so like at the end of the month, they basically pay rent for the number of times they used the microwave. So
I really like that. Was Marcus Long, you said? I'm make sure I wrote that down right. Yeah. I'm going to look him up. That's awesome. A good dude. Yeah, I've been saying for a little while. Yeah,
it's a lot.
Sure. Like, yeah, I would need a chart on the appliance that we can mark down and remember, and be able,
right.
That's I would always forget,
But think about. It's such a great lesson, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I just recently created a chart for fitness stuff because it's an important thing in the family. My oldest really loves it. I'm a rather broken individual, so fitness is a little bit of a different thing for me nowadays than it ever used to be. But we made a little chart for like how many push-ups you could do in a minute, how many sit-ups you could do in a minute, how many pull-ups you could do, how many burpees you could do in a minute, like just a few different things that we can have like a tally of, okay, well, what was your previous record, what's your current record, and then seeing the progress as it goes through. So I'd love to create a little chart like that and put it on the microwave just to say, hey, you own this microwave. Like that's really a cool idea. Honestly, I suppose the structure would be a little bit of a pain to set up, but in the grand scheme of things, if it really isn't going to be that much. I could print a little thing over, make it happen, stick it on there, have a little white, dry erase marker next to it. The microwave probably is a bad example. It gets used multiple times daily. Yeah. Like maybe go with like a blender or something that start with an easy one where it's maybe not as used as often. Yeah, no kidding. Less tally marks I have to worry about.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. My son, knowing him, he'd be trying to negotiate it. Like I think it should be $1 per use, Dad. I think that $1 is an acceptable response. Yeah. Like, no, buddy. Like I don't know if you understand this. That's awesome.
Yeah,
but
so I think it's great to have kids in the business and teaching that stuff.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, I completely agree. I want them around a lot of the conversations and around, knowing why I'm talking to people. And, I have oftentimes I put my headphones in if there's a call while I'm in the car, mainly because the boys love to play and fight and, be boys in the back seat. But if it's just Adam in the car, especially having him hear those conversations and understand what Daddy's doing while he's on the phone, and whether it's a negotiation, whether it's a broker, whether it's just a business partner or whatever it is, like being able to hear those and being involved in those conversations. And one guy I was talking to, he was like, yeah, and I always ask afterwards, like, what did you think about that conversation? How did you think it went? What do you think Dad could have done better? What do you think, the other guy's response to this was, or whatever it is? And being a little bit more intentional about that is something that I would really like to start doing as well.
That's good, man.
Because it goes back to, and I've said this I think 100 times at this point, is the things that they're learning are caught, not taught, right? Like what is it that they're seeing us do that is helping them learn something, as opposed to what am I teaching them, what am I telling them? Because it's what am I showing them is a lot more of an example of what's actually happening. So
yeah, we even the words that you use are so important. We started saying GDHT, Graziers do hard things
Nice.
around the house, and it's kind of become just a sane. And we go on hikes a lot here in Colorado, and we'll go on challenging hikes where my 5-year-old has to like climb, there's times where like he's a little worried, he's a little like scared, and we push him. We push him to, and we say Graziers do hard things. And a couple weeks ago, he was on his scooter and he was riding around in our driveway in our cul-de-sac, and he fell and he skinned up his knee. He was trying like a little like jump off of the curb, and he fell. And he was, kind of got up and started crying a little bit, and then he kind of wiped it off, and he's like, I know, Dad. I'm going to get up and I'm going to get back on it. I'm going to go do it again because Graziers do hard things. I was like, yes!
Success!
Win! Yeah. They're sponges, man. They're just little sponges. And so they do, and they see what you do. And so you just have to be intentional with that kind of stuff and be conscientious of what you're saying. And so it's powerful.
I think there's how do you communicate with your wife about that? Has there been problems at all, or issues that you guys have to deal with through? Because I know at the beginning, before we even had kids, I had to have the conversation with my wife because I'd seen it with her mom. Like, okay, anytime our kid skins their knee, the response is not, oh my goodness, are you okay? Because a lot of moms want to do that. Dads do that too, don't get me wrong, but that's going to be 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a mom response, not a dad response. And I said, we won't be doing that. We won't. Yeah. I won't be training my child to be a victim. It's not going to happen. You're going to get back up. You're going to get back on the horse. She has done a phenomenal job. It's never really been an issue. She's a little overly cautious with some things because that's her job as the caretaker, But do you guys have to have specific conversations about things like that? Or is it pretty much well known between the two of you guys over the last 15 years that this is just kind of what we do, or how's that kind of played itself out?
Yeah, we have to have conversations about it. I think most moms, they're going to be the nurturer. They're going to be the one that goes to, they come to cry on the shoulder when you're hurt. And just the other day, we were again on a hike. We went on a Colorado 6-day road trip. We hit all the national parks in Colorado, and we were on a pretty challenging hike. And there were some spots where they were kind of along the edge. Not like cliff edge, you're going to fall off and die, but it'd be a decent little fall if you slipped on some rocks. And it was a constant be careful from my wife. And I was like, I kind of turned to her and I was like, stop saying be careful. They're gonna be fine. And and she's like, okay, I know. But yeah,
what she heard was quit being a mom. Yeah.
Quit.
I can't stop being a mom.
Right. Yeah. She knows. We have conversations. Yeah. She knows we want to raise kids who have a growth mindset, and we want to challenge them, and she's all on board, but sometimes she has to catch herself being a mom.
Oh yeah. And it's just the same thing. I have to catch myself being a little too adventurous from time to time, letting them do a few too many things, so it's funny. We threw my son up on the roof of the house I don't know, when we first moved into the house, there was something up on the roof, and me and my brother-in-law threw him up on top of the roof, and he goes running across and go to grab whatever it was. He's like, this is so much fun. Let's do this again tomorrow. It's like, yeah, let's not, let's not, because he's, and they join me when I'm going up, putting up Christmas lights and doing all the stuff. So, you'll see it. Did he go right in?
Did he go right in and tell mom that he had just gotten on the roof?
He absolutely did. Yes. Yep. Yes, he did. He got off, and guess what Daddy just did? Yeah, that's exactly what Daddy just did. Yes. But thankfully, I tell people my wife rides motorcycles and shoots guns all the time, right? So that's one of those. I'm a little blessed. She's got a little adventure in her. Nice. It works out really well. We just had a daughter, so we've got 2 boys, and then our youngest is a daughter. And it's like, if she wants to be a princess, we're totally screwed because neither one of us are going to know what to do. I'm going to be wanting to throw my princess on the roof, and she's going to we'll see what happens. But with my oldest, it's one of those that I won't. That your scooter story reminded me of it. I won't let that type of moment be the last one. They have to get back on and ride. They have to go and face whatever it was. Adam was riding his dirt bike once, and he crashed into a tree. So he was coming down a little hill, and he came up and right into the tree. Flew off, hit his shoulder into the tree. I thought he might have like broke a collarbone type of thing, you know. He shoulder first, square into the tree. And of course he was crying like, "Oh, this really hurts." His dirt bike shut off, and I had to move his handlebars on the dirt bike. Everything. Anyways, pick it all back up, and he's like, "I want to go inside." I said, "No, buddy, we got to do one more lap." He's like, "No, I'm about this." I said, "No, buddy, we got to do one more lap. This won't be the last memory. The last memory is going to be of a solid lap, going around doing your thing, And there's a picture I have of him playing on a toy airplane when he was like 2 or 3 years old, with just blood pouring down his leg, blood dripping down his leg. And he's just playing, having a great time, not a care in the world. It was like he had just fallen off that airplane. He fell down, he hit his knee on something, and it was just bleeding down his leg. And he did not care at all. So I show him that picture all the time.